Quinter has been laid to rest in Melong, leaving behind grieving family, friends and a community in distress. Meanwhile, her story is sparking tough conversations about love relationships and the pressure young people face.
Thousands of residents in the Bois de Sciences neighborhood in Duala are living in fear following plans to demolish their homes. A court between a land ownership dispute, a controversial road project, and an administrative investigation ordered by the Senior Divisional Officer for the Wori Division. These local inhabitants are afraid their homes will be demolished for these purposes and are now calling for justice. We have more with Cedric Chakutu.
Holding placards with grim faces and shouts of anger, residents of Bois de Sciences in the Duala 2 subdivision demonstrated their discontent. The cause of this frustration is the presentation of a land title belonging to an individual for a land previously occupied by uninformed local residents.
So we have come here this morning to see the chiefs, lay onto him our complaints, our grievances, that for some time now, for long, we have not been sleeping. Because most often they come and tell us that we'll be chased out, they'll displace us. We have been hearing rumor. So this morning time, and yesterday, our chief received some menace, and to the extent that he was aggressed, they aggressed him. So we came here this morning. Even some of us in the quarter, we have been facing a lot of indirect or direct aggress. So we have come here this morning to lay on our chief. That is enough, because we are now afraid.
An eviction operation is looming in the neighborhood, even though, according to the victims, they themselves developed the area in the past.
Since almost 6 to 7 years, we happen to learn that there's a land title that was put in place, titling all our lands. Almost the land, we happen to have an access to the land title. We realized that an individual came, title on our value and in our houses. So we came together. Since then, we have been in battle with them to see that the land title should be annullated, because it was being put on our land in a fraud way.
They say the revised ordinance states that whoever developed the public area, that is the marshy area, must obtain a temporary land title.
How will people come and try to entitle the land, a land where people are staying there, more than 3,000 houses?
The quarter head, aware of the situation, tried to calm the anger of the angry mob.
Et ce matin, je reçois de vous ces quelques doléances. Oui, je vais les porter au niveau de ma hiérarchie.
According to him, a team of professionals were required to inspect the site and verify its condition.
Respecter les institutions démocratiques et républicaines et toutes les personnes qui les incarnent.
These, he says, are the resolutions taken after a meeting was organized in the presence of the divisional officer of the Duala 2 subdivision.
Monsieur le préfet, la commission ad hoc pour le retrait de ce titre foncier, cette commission ad hoc doit descendre dans les jours prochains.
The more than 3,000 inhabitants are waiting for concrete solution in this matter.
It's been 20 years since Cameroon established its National Anti-Corruption Commission by presidential decree of March 11, 2006. 20 years later, many persons are now asking the progress made so far by the National Anti-Corruption Commission to fight against the corruption in the Republic of Cameroon. Babla Jonathan reports.
Created to coordinate and lead anti-corruption efforts across the Republic of Cameroon, the National Anti-Corruption Commission, the NAC, focuses on prevention, investigation, and public awareness. Each year, the Commission publishes detailed reports highlighting corruption trends and cases forwarded to the judicial authorities. Over the years, the NAC has exposed several major embezzlement cases, pushed for transparency in public finance management, and run nationwide integrity campaigns. Yet, despite these efforts, Cameroon still ranks poorly in global corruption indices, suggesting that on-the-ground results remain limited.
On ne peut pas être péremptoire.
According to political scientist Dr. Stefan Zanga, it is difficult to affirm that the NAC has significantly pushed back corruption because the ill remains deeply rooted in administrative practices in Cameroon. A 2025 civil society report by the International Governance Institute notes that while institutions like the NAC exist, their independence and resources remain insufficient and enforcement of anti-corruption laws is weak.
L'absence de pouvoir de sanction directe.
In this perspective, Dr. Stefan Zanga notes that the National Anti-Corruption Commission does not have prosecution powers.
Le refus de collaborer des usagers.
Another stumbling block identified by Dr. Stefan is the difficult collaboration of citizens, many of whom he says are hesitant to report corruption cases to the NAC due to a strained relationship between the public and the administration. Observers and government critics say as the NAC marks 20 years, its balance sheet is mixed. Stronger frameworks, greater public awareness, but weak implementation and persistent impunity continue to cast a shadow over Cameroon's anti-corruption drive.
And the government of Cameroon has sanctioned one of its diplomats. The heads of the Ministry of External Relations in the Lithuania was sacked for criticizing the involvement of the United States of America in the ongoing Israel-Ukraine war or Iran war in the Middle East. His comments on international law violations referencing the USA strikes on Tehran sparked swift action from Yaoundé. Immaculate Fogwe reports.
Banzema Isimi, officially being installed as interim head of protocol and consular unit at the Ministry of External Relations in the Littoral region. Presiding over the ceremony, Littoral Governor Samuel Duala reminds her of the importance of being reserved and discreet while carrying out her role. This appointment comes after Simon Pierre Ombambida, the previous head, was relieved from his duties following controversial statements made during a televised interview on Canal 2 International. According to administrative sources, Ombambida publicly criticized the attack carried out against Iran by Israel with the support of the United States on February 28, 2026, which was deemed incompatible with the duty of reserve required of diplomats. A decision explained by political analyst Charlie Kenye. To Charlie Kenye, the minister's decision can be better explained by considering the three pillars on which reposes Cameroon's external policies, notably the sovereign independence of Cameroon, the non-interference policy, and the respect of territorial integrity of other states through international signed and ratified conventions. He further says the Diplomat TV's declaration was made in the heat of a major conflict opposing Iran and Israel, which thereby gives the impression that his declaration is the official stance of the government of Cameroon on the issue. And if the action of the minister is exaggerated, the political analyst says,
The immediate minister's reaction may appear excessive, but no, it is simply strategic. The minister needed to act swiftly so as to prove that his declaration had nothing to do with the official stance of the government of Cameroon, and so in order to avoid its consequences on the government. Allowing such a declaration to go without such an action would endanger the economic and strategic interests of Cameroon. It is true that Iran is economically present in the cement sector in Cameroon, but the US has more deeper and strategic presence in the nation, from the health to the military. Israel on its part is of course discussed to be the brain behind one of Cameroon's elite corps of the army.
A new chapter begins for Banzema Isimi, who now has a huge task of running this consular section of the Ministry of External Relations.
Due to the chaotic diplomatic relationship between Iran and the United States of America, the Ministry of Sports in Iran has decided to withdraw the senior national team from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. It should be noticed that the Iranian matches were scheduled to be played in the United States of America. In the following reports, Magic and Gabriel gives us more reasons why the Ministry of Sports in Iran decided to withdraw the national football team from the competition.
According to Iranian sports minister, his country will not participate in this summer's FIFA World Cup tournament, which is being co-hosted by the United States of America. Ahmed Donyameli, in remarks that was broadcasted on Iranian television, said players have no safety and the conditions for participation simply don't exist. The World Cup is set to run from June 11 through July 19, with the US as one of the 3 co-hosts for the tournament alongside Canada and Mexico. Most games will take place in the US, including all 3 of Iran's group stage matches, which are scheduled to take place in Los Angeles and Seattle. It was not immediately clear whether Iran had formally withdrawn from the tournament. FIFA and the Iranian Football Federation did not immediately respond to the inquiries. FIFA would have broad discretion to replace Iran in the tournament with another team, such as an alternate from the Asian Football Confederation like Iraq or the United Arab Emirates. After FIFA's president Gianni Infantino met with President Trump Tuesday, Infantino said in a statement that Trump had reiterated that Iranian team is welcome to compete in the tournament in the United States. A team withdrawing from the World Cup so soon before it begins is without precedent in the modern era. Under FIFA regulations, a team that withdraws from a tournament could face a fine of hundreds of thousands of dollars and a potential ban from future competition.
And that does it for this midday bilingual newscast on Équinoxe television. Thanks so much for watching. Do stay put some more interesting programs on Équinoxe television. Until then, have a splendid weekend. Pascal, thank you. Bonne journée à vous et bon week-end aussi.
Très bonne journée à vous et très bon week-end également, Innocent Nazem. Mesdames, Messieurs, merci d'avoir suivi ce 12h bilingue. Restez en compagnie des programmes d'Équinoxe Télévision. Excellent début de week-end à tous.